Welcome back, friends, to part 2. And I think I managed to kick off part 2 of this episode without screwing up the opener. Not that this is the right music. I haven't settled on this. I'll probably change all this in post and pick some other piece of music. It's just what I've got, and I'm running with it for now. My apologies if it doesn't work for you. I kind of like it, but sometimes I kind of don't. But here we are. Today on the Incorrigible Mr. Zeppo's Tarot Journal Cartomancy Radio Reading Hour Double Deck Unboxing. Earlier, I rambled about the Goddess Power Oracle deck, and now that I've got your attention yet again, I'm going to ramble at you about this delightful deck. I've already teased you with the text on the back of the box, so we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. I'm really honestly, genuinely opening this box for the very first time right in front of you, folks. Although I do like to do weird sound design things, this is not one of them. That's really cellophane. That's really me opening the box. Ooh, okay. Did I finish explaining why I was so excited about these two boxes and opening them finally? One, I was going around in spirals because they have this synchronicity, right? Like, they have this relationship where there's a crossover of artistry and you know, the collaborative development. And they have this apparent, to me, to my mind's eye, counterbalancing of masculine and feminine energies. So this box, like the other box, elegant. There's the cover which slides off, and then there's like a keepsake magnet lid box, something I failed to describe clearly in part 1. The Goddess box within a box. That's, the outer box is this, magnet lid. It's fun. On the inside of this one, it says, before there was time, before there was language, there were the sacred symbols. And that's something that I'm very much drawn to. So with a beautiful green ribbon in this box to lift out the book, which is bound in very much the same way as the other deck, we find the book, and I want to look at... So this is a collaboration between the illustrator, Jenna Della Grattaglia, and these authors, Alberto Villoldo, PhD, Colette Baron-Reid, and Marcela Lobos. Oh, there was a thing on the back of the box. Oh no, it's back over here. Here we go. Alberto Villoldo, PhD, is a medical anthropologist who has studied the shamanic healing practices of the Amazon and Andes for more than 25 years. He is the founder of the Four Winds Society, an organization dedicated to the bridging of ancient shamanic traditions with modern medicine and psychology. Websites thefourwinds.com and Alberto Villoldo, PhD. Colette Baron-Reid is an internationally respected spiritual intuitive, psychic medium, educator, and oracle expert. She is the founder of Oracle School and her best-selling book and oracle cards are published. Oh, books plural, sorry. Her best-selling books and oracle cards are published worldwide in 27 languages. Colette Baron Reid. I'll have to go look and see what other decks she has. And off the top of my head, I wonder if I have others and I'm just not realizing it. I probably do. Probably have one deck with her name on it somewhere else, besides the Goddess Power Oracle here. And Marcela Lobos has been initiated in the healing and spiritual traditions of the Amazon and the Andes. She is a senior staff member at the Four Winds Society and co-founder with Alberto Villoldo of Los Cuatro Caminos in South America. Cool. So these guys know what they're talking about, or at least the back of the box sure as fuck makes it sound like they do. Let's see what we have. A message from the authors. It's a single page letter from the three primary authors. It's always interesting how the artist who renders the images envisioned by the authors never gets as much credit or voice, even to this day, even in decks published last year. But, to harkening back to the episode where I go off on about Raider Wyatt Smith and how it should be the Smith Wyatt Raider. But I digress. A message from the authors. The sacred symbols in this deck are shared by all peoples. They can be found in the ancient rock carvings in the Mongolian steppes, and in the pictographs of the American Southwest. They are the centerpiece of African, Aboriginal, and Andean petroglyphs. They are the heart of the collective wisdom of humanity. The three of us have dedicated our lives to studying ancient wisdom traditions and divination practices. These teachings have allowed us to heal ourselves and find love and compassion for others. They have helped us understand the inner workings of destiny and how the future unfolds through each and every one of us. One day, while sharing a pot of fragrant jasmine tea at the Omega Institute in New York. I've never heard of the Omega Institute in New York. Put a pin in that. We'll have to see what we can find out about it, come back and do an episode. We discovered that we shared a longing to bring the ancient shamanic art of divination into a practical guide, an oracle for the modern world. We wanted to create a sacred oracle that could help everyone using it to craft a rich and meaningful destiny in these times of great change. Because the deck is a blend of mystical and shamanic wisdom, we decided to call it the Mystical Shaman Oracle to honor all our spiritual ideas and to be reminded that oneness is the true nature of all things. The stunning artwork is by Jenna Della Grataglia, who reached into her heart to capture and bring forth the essence of the ancient symbols we selected. Through her art, timeless symbols have been brought to life to speak to you. We hope you receive rich and meaningful messages from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. It has been an honor and a privilege to be part of its birth. In spirit, AV, CBR, and ML, the three authors. And that's at the center of what I'm talking about, folks. Like, we can mock and ridicule this market, this trend, this community of people who believe or subscribe to the idea that oracles work. Or we can investigate and find out what the oracles can do, if they can do anything at all. And what I'm getting at is that, like, if we were to take that page I just read at face value, these are three people with a lifetime of experience that genuinely brought a wealth of understanding of ancient symbology and mysticism to bear in a way that is tangible. Let's take a look at the deck, right? Enough dancing around the cards. Let's actually see them. So this is a 64 card oracle, so it's a little bigger than the last one in terms of bulk. And again, one of these lovely bands that I don't want to tear. Boom. Similar in format, obviously some of the same minds involved. Oh, I damaged the top card a little by taking the way I took it off, but we're okay. 64, The Witness. I see a female shamanic figure with long gray hair, and the way that the art is very impressionistic. But one of the things that's consistent, as within the goddess deck, is that the eyes are always very clearly defined, whereas the rest of the art may be a bit impressionistic. It also reaches this almost photorealism in the faces. You'd have to look. I'll maybe post some pictures later. But this sort of indigenous shaman figure is surrounded by mysterious shapes. Some appear to be wolves. There's definitely a bright orb above her. I think her feminine head. She looks feminine. She looks like a female. And that could either be a golden moon, plausible, given that there's wolves or wolf-like figures up and to the left, or it could be the sun. There's definitely a floating eye off to one side that I did not see until just now, like an open, glowing, radiant eye. And she has antlers. Anyways, so the very first card, the Ancient Ones, and there's an elderly, again, ironically, I thought of this deck as being very masculine, but the first card and the last card are feminine faces. There's a grandmother, bejeweled and enshrouded in tribal feather art, like costume plumage, and there's a very large disc which could be a sun, and then a black disc which could be a moon, like I don't know. I'm not sure what those orbs mean. I'll have to look. But interesting. I love the art. The Ancient Ones, right? So number 2 is the Andean Cross. Number 3 is the Arrow. Number 4 is Beauty Way, which is interesting phrasing, but it's a lotus flower opening, and a dragonfly kind of flying up and away. And anyways, there's plenty of other decks. There's 64 of them. The Corn, the Fire Elemental. There's Jaguar. Ooh, that one's beautiful. The Lower World, the Seer, an Aboriginal, indigenous shaman figure with a medicine stick being visited by Crow. The Spiral, number 50. A really beautiful, organic, but also sort of mechanical fractal spiral shape. Taming the Wind. The Upper World. Ends with the Witness. So again, with the sort of satin matte, low gloss, but I don't know, it's appealing. It's an appealing finish. Will it fit in one of the bags? I don't know. Let's find out. Yes, I think it'll fit just fine. In the little drawstring pouch. I always worry. And for being such a big deck, and it is sort of on the larger side of the size spectrum for Oracle decks. I don't think it's going to be like I don't know. Maybe I spoke too soon. Trying to actually get it in there. There we go. All right. In its brand new drawstring pouch, which it does fit somewhat a little on the uncomfortable side. Tragedy. I've already rambled on about how I'd love to have a slightly bigger size than this, right? I haven't been able to find it. I have to go dig up the manufacturer's name. All right. Let's see if there's any other interesting thing I want to read from the book as I put the box back inside the box. Kaboom. Put the sleeve on top and back. Oops, sorry. Throwing it. Just throw it anywhere. That sleevey bit. There we go. Alright. Other things fall off the bookshelf. Okay. Let's get a little bit of insight here. So each of the cards is broken into 3 sections. So I'm flipping through all the profiles, and they have the same 3 headings: the essence, the invitation, the medicine. And let's pick a card that we already. Oh, let's look at Beauty Way. That one was out of the ones that I saw, it was the one where I was like, I'm the least sure about that phrasing. So card number 4 in the deck, the one with the lotus flower. Now that speaks to me a lot about Zen imagery and the unfolding of the universe from the muck and the mire and all the different imagery that one could load on the lotus. And in its profile, the authors write, the essence. The Beauty Way is both a path that you travel on and a daily practice. The Beauty Way is both a path that you travel on and a daily practice. The path is where you choose to perceive only beauty before you, behind you, and all around you as you journey through life. So the Beauty Way is a label similar to the Middle Way. I wasn't sure if that was where it was going to point or not. So this is about seeing beauty on the path as a choice. The practice is where you take action to bring beauty to every situation you are in. When things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to the difficult encounter. When everyone else perceives only darkness, you point out the light and help uncover the hidden treasures. The invitation. The Beauty Way invites you to create beauty in your life and to recognize the beauty inside yourself and in others. Cliché: stop to smell the roses, take a deep breath, look up at the stars, and recognize the splendor that surrounds you. As cliché as that is, it's also profoundly true. See the beauty in whatever situation you find yourself in, and you will receive the lesson that life is teaching you in a kind and gentle way. Excuse me, I got a surprise attack yawn. It's been a long day of podcasting, folks, but almost there. We're almost at the end of it. The medicine. The medicine to the Beauty Way. Stop trying to fix relationships that you believe are broken. Recognize that things are exactly as they need to be in this moment. And acknowledge the inherent beauty in that. When you understand this, you will be able to bring about the change you want. Do not engage in gossip about the darkness and flaws of others. Be careful not to be seduced by the superficial beauty of a project or relationship you are toying with, unless you are willing to pay a price for it later. Seek beauty. See beauty, choose to perceive beauty, enact beauty, manifest beauty, but be careful not to be seduced by the superficial beauty of a thing or a person that you are only toying with, unless you're willing to pay a price for it. That's the detail on the beauty way. So, sample readings, as we were going through in the previous deck, think about fewer. So, the one card reading. Excuse me, folks. The one card reading, a 3 card reading, the source and outcome. I had the page already turned, and then I messed it up. The 4 card reading, the hidden treasure and the medicine wheel. Okay. And that's it. There's no other templates or... It's pretty... "64 cards, each one depicting a sacred symbol. Remember that nature speaks in symbols and not in the language of facts. Stay with the image of the card or cards that you choose during a reading. Savor it. Let it speak to the depths of your psyche. You will discover that a very primal part of your soul recognizes and responds to these timeless symbols." Each card is a dynamic snapshot of a situation or a moment and shows you how the moment can transform from one condition to another. That reminds me very much of the I Ching, and how every time you cast for the I Ching, you generate a pictogram, but then you can analyze that reading against its relationship by transforming all the transformable lines to generate like the mirror pictogram, or there's another word for it, hexagram. So anyways, there's a whole complex thing about that, but it resonates here with this thing about how the moment can transform from one condition to another. The symbols present the forces and influence at play and the direction that energy is moving towards. After you meditate on the image and the power that it holds, consult the text in the guidebook. Each card has 3 important messages: the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. Let's see how they define these to see if it helps give some clarity to what the reading we just took, right? We just took a 1 card reading. The essence tells you the timeless message of the card. It expands the symbol until you grasp its message without your needing to analyze it. Always read the essence first. So the timeless core of the meaning there. The invitation tells you the gifts that Spirit is extending to you at this moment. It is a call to action. Read the invitation only if your card is upright. The medicine tells you the aspect or area of your life or relationship that you need to bring into balance and repair. Read the medicine only if your card is reversed. Remember, there are no bad cards, so reversed cards should not be avoided. In fact, you might want to see this as an extra help from the unseen world to guide and protect you. And of course, That's an interesting thing that they point out, because reversals or reverse interpretations is something that in traditional tarot circles, I guess, can be described as somewhat controversial. Some people believe that there is no such thing as reversals, or that the inverse, the upside down card, should have no separate meaning. Others instantly associate a reversed card with the negative opposite or blocking of what the card originally means. And then others have a sort of subtle or more, just less extremist sounding. It's like the version I like, the version I work with, specifically with tarot, is that when a card comes out reverse, scanning the traditional reverse indications and considering it, including all that information, right? Like whatever it says under reverse interpretation, but considering it an invitation that upon being aware, it's an invitation to upright it. I'll have to look, and I'll have to work with this deck in the future and see if that approach works with the way they've set up this trifecta of essence, invitation, and medicine. It seems like it does, right? The invitation is a call to action anyways, and the medicine, it has to do with bringing into balance, which is another action. A little bit further on in the text, it has a section called How to Ask a Question. And I'm always intrigued when authors give instruction in this regard. Sometimes they don't, right? They just plow right through to just meanings and stuff without paying attention to or addressing the form or format of the question asking. The best questions ask for details, deeper understanding of a situation, or knowledge as to how to take a, quote, next right step. Questions that require yes or no answers should be avoided, as they foster passivity instead of inspired action, awareness, or empowered understanding. It is best to ask an open-ended question such as the following. What do I need to know about, describe the situation, for my highest good? What will be the result if I take this action? What do I need to change in order to improve things? Yeah. So there we go. That's our first look. I really like the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel is a sacred hoop with the 4 cardinal directions well marked. It represents the cycle of life, the cycle of nature, and the circular patterns of our cosmos. It has been used for millennia in indigenous cultures to bring harmony and well-being to the village. Its directions symbolize the 4 steps the shaman takes to become a person of power and wisdom. Now there's whole volumes worth of reading one can do into the medicine wheel. But let's see what the upright standard reading call to action is on the medicine wheel. I just thought it was neat that was the next page that popped up. That stood out. And also, I like the image. It's almost impossible to describe. And I'm looking at the black and white version. So anyway, the invitation to manifest clear blue skies in your life. It is important that you take a look at certain aspects of your being. Enter the medicine wheel from the south and reflect on how you are still clinging to events from the past. Continue to the west and notice which relationships are toxic and drain your energy. Step to the north and ask yourself, do I know my passion, and show it? End at the east direction, visualizing how you want to live the next chapter of your life. It is up to you how much time you spend in each direction, minutes, days, or months. But when you are done, make sure to step outside the wheel and complete your journey. That's one of the most succinct and tight and clear descriptions of the medicine wheel I've ever read. And I don't know if it does it justice or not, or if indigenous folks would listen to that and go, that's a load of malarkey. I'm not sure. But it, because all those things are pretty variable based on opinion. But to me, it works and synergizes with what I've read about the medicine wheel and some of its sort of basic traditions, or traditional descriptions, rather. At any rate, Middle World. That's us. That's where we are. We're in Middle Earth, right? Well, friends, this has been quite fascinating, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Well, that's for that card. And I think... Oh, here we go. To honor the artist, right? Because they get the least blurb. Jenna Della Grataglia is a native New Yorker who now lives in Los Angeles with her husband, soulmate, and best friend, Daniel. Good for you guys. Huzzah. I always like to hear about a good, happy power couple that loves what they do. She also has an affinity for animals, as her adopted 4 cats would attest to wholeheartedly. She is a self-taught artist who believes in being eclectic and unique in her style, hoping to always evolve and create new, wondrous art. Her influences range from Michael Parks and Gil Bruvel to the amazing Teresa Nielsen and many more. Website autumngoddess.com. Hooray for Janetta Grataglia. I really do like the artwork because for both these decks, it resides in a place of authenticity in terms of the traditions of antiquity while having a fresh modern look, right? Clearly someone designed this in a digital environment, and but it also looks like it's honoring, ancient traditional artistic traditions. And both decks work and synergize that way. So I look forward to probably working with them in conjunction to each other. All right, so that is that. Thank you for tuning into that part of the show. And welcome, decks, to the collection. Moving forward, I thought I'd share this with you guys, and that's that, of course, I'm going to be focusing on revamping the existing episodes so they're less tedious and less wonky or wobbly, and sprinkle in a little bit more music. And also, I'm going to be focusing in on actual, practices and study work that I'll be doing as I continue my efforts in teaching myself or discovering for myself a system that renders meaningful guidance or not, right? That's the challenge. That's the pseudoscientific pursuit at the very core of this project. So in the not too distant future, we'll actually be posing questions and seeing if we can render. I like that word because I think it's appropriate, and it's different enough from interpret or any of the other sort of words you could use right there. If we can render meaningful content, both for myself personally, for others willing to write in with personal or theoretical questions they'd like to pose or to throw in to the pile of things that we might take readings about. And then ultimately, about the state of the world at large that we find ourselves in collectively. Can a sophisticated enough system of oracle decks genuinely and truly help us make sense of the world out there, or not. I don't know. Can we even really get to an answer? We'll find out. I'll either, ruin myself on this project and be lost in the annals of internet history as some has-been whose podcast went on for years but went nowhere, or this whole thing will pick up steam and momentum in its meaningfulness and also in its entertainment value to others and its appeal to those who either already work with Oracle decks or who are interested in working with Oracle decks. And then we will ultimately see if it indeed gets anywhere at all. But for now, my friends, thank you for joining me in this sort of clunky and totally not very well planned out experimental podcast, humbly called the Incorrigible Mr. Zeppo's Tarot Journal and Cartomancy Reading Radio Hour. Until next time, please stay tuned. And just for shits and giggles, because I've done all kinds of foibles and screw-ups with the ins and outs today on the theme music, let's close it out in honor of the one segment we didn't do a recording for today, Cannabis Talk. Just for shits and giggles, here goes the Cannabis Talk outro music to wind up this show. Joining me for Oy vey, I can't seem to do anything right today. How do I reset it? It's already playing and now I don't know how to stop it. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I was playing it was playing, but my master volume on the music list was not up. I did that earlier too. Okay, I'll stop. I'm being ridiculous. I'm exhausted. It's late. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Please make fun of me and laugh at me all you want, but tell other people about the podcast. Invite them to check it out and to tell me what you all think. Which outro am I going to go with? Let's go with, okay, first of all, let's put it's not playing, right? No, let's put the volume back up at full so when I push play, it actually goes. Let's let the whole song, the whole, I don't think I'm going to use this for reals, but check it out. I'm just going to stop talking now.